If you've been following along with our Alpha Bible reading app, yesterday we began a new book in the New Testament, Paul's epistle of 1 Corinthians. Paul wrote this letter to combat divisions, idolatry, and immoral behavior among Christians living in the ancient city of Corinth, a port city located on the northwest corner of the Greek Peloponnese. But as the church father Augustine once said, pride is the beginning of all sin. At the heart of all the Corinthians' issues was pride, a belief that they were better than everyone else. They thought that because they had found the answer, the way, God's response to all the world's problems, Jesus, that they were somehow better than everyone else. And in some twisted way, this led them to believe they could do anything they ever wanted, even self-destructive, sinful behavior that clearly violated the teachings of Jesus. And the irony of this is that from the world's standards, the gospel doesn't make any sense. As Christians, we know that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, and the hope for the world. But to those outside the church, the story of Jesus really doesn't make any sense. Why would God, if his goal was to eliminate this world of sin, send his son just to die and become the victim of sin? The world teaches us that in order to solve our problems, we must take control or even use force to get our way sometimes. We need to show strength in order to get what we want. That's what the world says. But in the Gospels, Jesus doesn't show strength. In fact, he shows weakness. Jesus died. He made himself a victim to sin. How then can you rid this world of sin by becoming a victim to it? This is the scandal of the cross. And to those who haven't been transformed by God's Spirit and given their life to Jesus, they won't understand it, and they never will. In 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 18, Paul says, "For the message of the cross is foolishness to those who are perishing, but to us who are being saved, it is the power of God." The reality is that no matter how hard we try or desperately want to see this world come to Jesus, many will simply never understand it. It just won't make sense to them. But that's okay. We should still treat those people with love and compassion and lift them up in prayer, hoping they come to one day know the truth, even though we already know it. But what we should never do is allow ourselves to become so prideful that we think we know the truth, that we're somehow better than them. Because we're not. We are sinners who are just as much in need of grace and mercy as they are. And without the help of God, we would still be dead to our sins. The proper response to knowing the truth is not to flaunt it or to treat others as second-class citizens for rejecting Jesus or thinking that God somehow loves us more. It should cause us to fall to our knees in humility, to weep with compassion for those who don't yet believe, and to love them with the same grace that once rescued us. The truth should never make us arrogant. It should make us grateful. Grateful enough to listen, to witness, and to reflect Christ with gentleness and respect to all those we have the pleasure to encounter.